Welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Football. Up next on our coaching carousel is Coach Scott Jones from North Paulding High School. Welcome, Coach Jones. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Mike.
Tell me a little bit about your coaching history. I know about it, but let's tell the people out there a little bit about your coaching history and your time at Kennesaw and the time before that.
Well, I was an assistant to begin with for almost 10 years at North Cobb High School and got my first head football job at South Cobb. I was there for 5 years, 95 to 2000. And then in 2000, I helped open up Kennesaw Mountain High School, and I was the head coach there for 10 years.
Right.
And then took a leave from there and went to North Cobb as an assistant for 2 seasons, and then been at North Paulding as the head coach ever since.
Now, Kennesaw, you left your mark there a little bit, didn't you?
Well, yeah.
I think the stadium's named Scott Jones Stadium, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird going over there seeing my name up there. Usually, I think that's for people that's passed away. But,
I know.
But it was very honoring, and I appreciate them doing that for me.
I remember when we went out there, I was still at North Paulding at the time. I remember asking you after the game. It was kind of weird to play against Kennesaw in the stadium with your name on it.
Well, especially on the sideline,
right.
I mean on the visitor side looking at
at your name the whole game.
Yeah, it's kind of eerie.
So you came into North Paulding, had some pretty successful seasons right off the get-go. I believe you had an 8-4 campaign the first year.
Right.
And then the second year you ended up in the quarterfinals against a very strong Creekview team. Talk a little bit about those 2 years and why they were so special.
Well, they were. I mean, we had some very talented kids, and really got into a momentum thing, with that, winning ways there early. But fortunately, everything kind of worked out for the best there. But we bit off a big one when we played Creekside. They, eventually went on to win the state championship. But that was really, really good. And it was mainly the athletes that we had. Our skilled kids were phenomenal, but that was a good start. And then jumping classifications, obviously that all those A's matter. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember watching that Creekside game, and Coach, that Creekside team was probably one of the best high school football teams I think I've ever watched. They
were
all over the place.
Mm-hmm. They had them Berry brothers, and I tell you, they were special.
What was impressive, though, is that y'all beat Stevenson to get to that game, and Stevenson was yet another one of those programs with 10 or 12 D1 players already committed. So that was real impressive. Now, you talked about the moving up in classifications. That's definitely made it more difficult moving up into that higher classification, and now you're into 7A, which is the big boy classification. Last year, you started off with 4 really tough, teams right out the gate. You ended up, who did you start off with the first game?
Well, I mean, we played 3 state championship teams last year.
Right.
I mean, Alatoona and Cartersville, and then Colquitt, ranked number 2 in the country at the end. But right out of the gates, I mean, when we play in the East and playing a lot of the teams, I mean, it was a gauntlet. And then you get into Archer, and then you get into the region. We play Archer in the Corky Kell Classic. And then we get in a region, it's back to back. You got McKeecher and North Cobb. I mean, it's, you better be ready because everybody's coached well, and there's a lot of talented young men out there.
Yeah, like Coach Spence was saying earlier about Jimmy's and Joe's. There's a lot of Jimmy's and Joe's in 7A. We're like the second smallest school in there, and we're sitting at less than 2,100, and a lot of the schools that we'll be playing are 2,800, and that's a lot bigger athletic pool to pick from, and so, with numbers, you got options, and so, but anyway, we're going to get there. We're growing. Right. Well, you did have, you had some guys last year that have moved on to the next level. You had a good signing class of Division I athletes, and looks like you've got several more on this upcoming class they're going to help you to continue forward. Tell me a little bit about your region, some of the teams you think are going to be the real challenges for you, and how you feel like the team is developing going into this year.
Well, obviously, year in and year out, McEachern is going to be probably the front runner when it comes to talent. North Cobb, from what I understand, they have 7 Division I players over there. Marietta has a new coach, and I understand that has really done a good job of getting his kids ready in the off season, and so it's going to be tough. We're very young this year. We'll have probably 7 or 8 underclassmen on offense and 8 underclassmen on defense. But with that, a lot of these kids played last year as freshmen and sophomores, and so experience is, you can't. There's no exchange for experience. So we've got it, but week in and week out, it's going to be a challenge. We've got to stay healthy, and there ain't no weeks off. We got to bring our A game. If we don't, we'll get snot beat out of it.
I think every team in Paulding County is going to be young this year. Just kind of looking around the county,
That's what I've
talking to some of the
heard,
coaches.
yes.
I think we're going to have a lot of young, fresh talent on the football fields on Friday night.
Right.
Now, talk a little bit about some of your key players. A couple of them are here tonight.
Right.
Talk about some of the guys that are here tonight and some of the guys that are going to be stepping into major roles for you throughout the season.
Well, we graduated, like you said earlier, some kids. DJ Owens going to Tulane, and our quarterback from last year, he's going to Middle Tennessee. Kyle Banks, and then Alton Reith, big tight end we had, he ended up at NC State. So replacing those kids is, obviously something that I don't know if we can completely replace them, but we have some kids that are going to step in there and hopefully do a good job for us. We got a brand new quarterback. He was our JV quarterback last year. He's just going to be a sophomore, Ross Malgrim, and he's done a great job. Had a great off season, and he's developing just fine. The three young men we have here tonight or today with us is Kyle Bird, linebacker, and Braylin Fisher. He's also a linebacker, and they started for us last year as sophomores, and they're physical kids. They get after it, and they're really the anchor for our defense. And they've grown a lot. They've done a good job in the offseason. They put on 15 or 20 pounds, and so we're looking for a big year from those two. And then I have Chad Terrell here. He's a big wide receiver, and he's got a lot of college attention right now. And so those three guys, offensively, he's going to be the go-to guy for the most part. But we've got some more talented people around them. Zion Hawkins is also a rising sophomore for us who played a lot last year as a freshman in various roles, and he's going to be very important because right now he's probably our only two-way player, and he's talented enough and durable enough that hopefully can do that. He'll be playing safety and H receiver for us, but defensively I feel like we're going to be better.
Right.
We look better. We're running around. We've got some a lot of returning young players who played last year that have another year under their belt. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that junior and sophomore class you have is chock full of talent. I know the sophomore class, if I'm not mistaken, is that group that won the state championship in GMSAA that year. Is that correct?
They did, and a lot of those kids. Ross was he was a freshman last year, but we started him as the JV quarterback.
Right.
And he's got a pretty good record under his belt from 6th grade to now.
Right.
So he knows how to win and he knows how to lead, and so we're expecting that from him. But he's surrounded by a lot of players too, and that's why they won the state championship a few years ago. So we're counting on them. And again, they're still young. I mean, it's. Every year of experience is huge, and so when you're young, there's some bumps in the road that are going to take place, and so that's expected. But we want to try to mature as fast as we can, but so there's not too many bumps in the road.
So what do you think is going to be the key to turning that page this year? If you were going to say this is the thing that we have to focus on as a team to turn that page in this 7A this big region we're in now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think we've got to play good defense. The fact is this: we haven't played good defense. Good, solid, year-long defense since I've been at North. And it was
before you got there too.
It's nobody's. It's just we've had a lot of skilled players. We've had a lot of we just outscore people.
Right.
Or not and lose. But honestly, we're excited about defense. Got a new defense coordinator. Chad McGee doing a great job. Got a new offensive coordinator, Aaron Nance, doing a great job. And so, you know, we just need to play better defense, you know, and I mean, that's what wins championships. Everybody knows that, and everybody says that, but, you know, we just didn't have those kinds of kids in the past, or we would try to manufacture defensive players from offensive player skill sets, and it hadn't been too good to us. So, but we're excited about the defense.
I think some of the issues with defense when you're a spread or a Tony Franklin type team is that they practice against a spread and Tony Franklin type team all the time, and then there's the running teams that give you fits when it comes to facing a power eye or somebody that's running you know, wing T or something like that. The guys aren't used to that, facing that in practice.
Physicality. I mean, you get hit in the mouth, and you don't see that every day in practice. I mean, you know, so, you know, which brings me to, you know, we're going to try to run the football more, you know, and we're going to try to, you know, be more physical like that. But you know, again, you know, that's something that we're going to have to get better at every practice, every day, you know.
Well, I'm glad that at least moving up to the highest region, you're still able to keep some of the in-county rivalry games. You know, we don't want to lose some of those games.
Right.
We're losing south to a couple of the in-county rivalry games, but you're playing east still this year. Do you have any other in-county games?
We're playing Paulding East and South. I mean Paulding East, and we're playing Hiram in a scrimmage. So we're excited about that. We had other options with a couple of Cobb County schools, but we definitely didn't want to do that. We keep it in county rivals and just some good old wholesome local football, and that's fun. That's fun for everybody.
I tell you what, when WSB was at that Northeast game last year, they said it was like a college atmosphere.
Oh, it was.
They had closed the gates again.
Oh yeah,
they had to shut down the gates. There was
it's
full capacity.
That's what football, high school football is about, right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on to the show.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck this upcoming season. That's Coach Scott Jones, head coach at North Paulding High School.
I was born, a shotgun in my hands, behind the gun.
All right, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Football. Our next interview is going to be with wide receiver number 81, Chad Terrell from North Paulding. Welcome to the show, Chad.
What's up, Coach?
Know a little bit about you. We got a little bit of history. Tell me a little bit about your rec ball, where you played rec ball, and then moving up through middle school. Tell me a little bit about your football career.
Okay. Well, I started out playing at New Hope whenever I was in 6th grade, and then I played one more year there. Then I moved up to North Paulding, and I started playing for the feeder team 8th grade year.
Right.
And that's where I started pretty much.
So you started actually in 6th grade.
Yes, sir.
You didn't play any rec ball prior to that.
No, sir.
So in Paulding County terms, you'd be a late bloomer, right?
Yeah.
All these other guys start at 4 years old, but you've obviously done very well. Let's talk a little bit about your season last year. You had 826 yards, I believe it was, receiving,
Yes, sir.
10 touchdowns, top 10 in 6A football and touchdown and in receiving yards. That's kind of impressive when you consider that you shared the top 10 spot with the receiver on the other side of the ball, and DJ Owens, who is now at Tulane, correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk to me a little bit about last season, some of the highs, some of the lows, you know, what you came away with from last season.
Well, I want to say like last season made me a lot better, but we could have had a lot better of a season. I feel like if we didn't take as many chances as we could have. We played it a little safe sometimes, but in general, it just made us all a lot better. I mean, it was an intense year. We started off kind of off. We were losing games like by a few, then it got worse.
Right.
And as time went on, we did a little bit better and made a short run for the playoffs, but we lost first round to Colquitt, who won the championship.
Well, you realize you ended up playing three state championship teams last year, right?
We played Alatoona, Cartersville, and Colquitt.
That's right. So, and you started off the year with, I was talking to Coach Jones about it, 3 pretty tough games in a row.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it was a little bit of a rough year, but I think y'all got some good things coming at you this year. Talk a little bit about some of the guys that you think are going to step up on the team and be leaders, and who's going to have to kind of take those reins this year.
Okay. Well, as of right now, we have those 2 linebackers, Braylin Fisher and Tyler Bird. They're both going to step up and do a lot for us because they've been getting a lot better as well. And Ross Malcolm is our new quarterback this year. He's an upcoming sophomore.
Right.
But he's actually looking really well. He's always hitting us up to go throw and work out and stuff. So he takes pride in like doing what he does, and he's going to be big for us this year. And then we've got a lot of new people. We got a lot of other people receiver-wise stepping up, and a lot of people playing both ways, like Cameron Bishop, Brian Mitchell, and Zion. They're all going to step up and do a lot for us this year.
That was a pretty big pickup for y'all, Brian Mitchell moving into the area. Brian Mitchell came from North Altoona. Okay, that's right. So that was a good pickup for your team. I know you've got a lot of offers going. I believe it's over 20 offers currently.
Sir.
Tell me a little bit about some of the top contenders, some of your favorite schools that have offered so far.
Well, as of right now, my favorites I would say would probably have to be South Carolina, NC State, Ole Miss, and Oregon is one of my favorites as well, but I haven't gotten to go visit them yet because it's more than a day away, so
Right.
I'm still working on that, but I'm pretty sure they'll be up there too because it seems like a pretty good school and the people there seem pretty good too.
Yeah, I think all big playmakers love Oregon.
Yeah.
It's kind of that wide open, explosive
yeah.
offense. So have you decided how long you're going to take before you make a decision? Are you going to wait till the end of the season? Is it something you're going to do midway through? What do you think is your time frame?
Like as of right now, I don't exactly have an exact date or anything, but I'm pretty much, as of right now, I pretty much have it set what I think I'm going to do. I just haven't put it all out there yet, but it will be soon, I'll say. It'll be before mid-season.
Okay. Well, we'd love to have you announce on Inside Georgia High School Football, so just keep
Okay.
that in mind for me. So tell me a couple real quick lessons you've learned playing football, some of the things that you're going to take away from football moving forward in life.
Well, one is that this is probably the biggest lesson I've ever learned in my entire life is that you're not going to always, you're not going to just progress perfectly. There's always going to be things that are going to push you back, set you back, and try to throw you down and make you want to quit pretty much. And what I took from that was a lot of, ninth grade year, I tore my hamstring. I had a lot of people saying I didn't want to play football and I wasn't good or anything, and I was just made up to be some good player that wasn't really that. And as time went on, I took all the hints. I even came close to wanting to quit at one point. But last year, my junior year, is whenever I got healthy again and I came back and tried to make a statement. And I just, every time I wanted to quit or something of that nature, I just think what everyone said to me and want to prove them wrong, stuff like that. I've also learned I've become a better person from football as well. Whenever it comes to how you handle yourself and how others rely on you and how you want to be an example for everyone. I've learned to be a leader, but I don't usually use my mouth to be a leader. I just lead by example.
Yeah, you've never been a real vocal kid.
Yeah.
I remember having coaches saying something about in one of the All-Star games. Why didn't he run faster? And then because you have this kind of, when you run, you just kind of like a gazelle. I said, Coach, he's passing everybody on the field. He is running faster. So you're quiet, kind of unassuming kid. What do you want to do after football? When you go to college, what is it you want to do once you finish playing football?
Well, as of right now, what I have my major set on is advertising management, which a lot of schools have great programs in that area, but I think that's what I'm going to be studying in.
Well, I look forward to seeing you out on the field this year. I look forward to seeing you light it up. I take a little pride every time I see you out there. So good luck this year, Chad. We'll see you on the field, and hopefully we'll be talking to you later in the season. That's number 81, Chad Terrell, wide receiver for the North Paulding Wolfpack.
And that's why they call me bad company. I can't deny.
Next up on our interviews for Inside Georgia High School Football is another outside linebacker from North Paulding High School, Braylin Fisher. How you doing, Braylin? Welcome to the show.
Bad. Appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about your football background and where you played rec ball at and where you played your middle school ball coming up.
Well, I started playing football whenever I was 6 years old. I started at New Hope, played all the way until I was 12. 12 years old, I went and played 1 year at a private school, and then I was done there, and then I came over to McClure Middle, played 1 year in 8th, and then played at North.
Yeah, I know a couple of the guys that coached with you out at New Hope. Coach Coach Brett Wehunt
Brett
always
Wehunt,
talks real highly about you.
Estes
talks real
yeah.
highly about you. They brag about you all the time. Tell me a little bit about some of the lessons you've learned in football, things that you take away from the game that you apply to your daily life.
If you want something, you got to work for it. That's something I've learned. Just don't give up on something. If you really want something, then you pursue it. I mean, that's going to help you. No matter what, no luck or anything like that. If you work for something, it's yours.
Right. Now, you and the other outside linebacker, it looks like stat-wise, are almost identical twins. 6'1",
Yeah.
205 on both sides. Now, I talked to Tyler about the fact that I see y'all at the line of scrimmage a lot. So y'all come up on the line of scrimmage, kind of play that edge rusher position. Do you like playing back at the outside linebacker spot or more up at the line of scrimmage like an edge rusher?
Well, this year I'm moving into inside linebacker, and I'll be playing there. But I like being kind of up. The pass game's fine and all. I like playing that run stopper though. I like filling the gap. I like hitting. I like being up in there.
Playing downhill.
And so I would say being up on the line is one of my favorite because you do get to rush the quarterback and stuff, and that was fun for me. And I didn't really like to be out in coverage that much, but it's necessary. You got to do it.
Right?
You got to do it. So, there's bittersweet moments on each, but I like being up there.
What was your favorite game last year? What was your favorite moment or favorite game last year?
Favorite game? East Paulding.
East Paulding was your favorite game,
It's just the intensity, the crowd, the stands, just everybody there. And the hometown rivalry, people from the other team. We didn't come out with it, but just the feeling was crazy. Even after the game, you had to go and you have respect for the other team because, they brought it, So.
Yeah, it was, we talked to several people about it. It was like a college atmosphere.
Exactly,
yeah.
It
was crazy how many people were there and just the electricity throughout the game. And luckily it was one of those games that it went right down to the wire.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't know who was going to win until the end of the game. So now going into this year, what's going to be your favorite game? What game are you pointing towards?
East Paulding.
East Paulding. So,
yeah.
Okay. It's a big rivalry. I think what kind of spurred that whole Northeast thing is that really North is the branch off of East.
Yeah.
When they split East District up, a lot of kids that were supposed to go to East, my oldest son included, ended up going to North, and then so they're playing against kids they grew up playing football with, and so it makes for a good, what is that, a good old-fashioned Southern hate, right? So we love each other, but we love to hate each other when it comes on Friday nights, right? Now, you've got several schools looking at you right now.
Yes,
You've talked to some different programs. Tell me some of the recruiting things that are going on with you.
Right now, I'm really trying to go in for Clemson right now and just talk to them, pursue them heavily. I've had interest from some other smaller schools that I'm just kind of trying to get my feet wet, right now. And, over the summer, I've really been trying to work on myself as an athlete, really. And I've done a couple camps. I went to, the Lake Point Showcase. I've done an MVP camp. I went to a Clemson one-day camp. That I was invited to by Coach Venables, and that was an awesome experience. And afterwards, we got to walk around Clemson and stuff, and I kind of fell in love with it. Trying to make sure I don't get too crazy about it since it was my first, big camp and stuff. So I'm just trying to stay sane, but I really want to pursue them. I love Coach Venables, awesome guy. He's really cool. He helps me being coachable. Because he doesn't come off at you super hard. He just wants to see you do better, and that's something that I really want. I want to look for whenever I'm picking what college I want to go to.
Right.
I'm gonna think about how's the defensive coordinator, how's the linebackers coach, like how are they gonna help me get better, and how are they gonna push me.
So Clemson's obviously skyrocketed.
Yeah, that's.
I can hear it. I can hear it
in
your voice that you're excited about it. Now, going into this season, y'all going to be in a very tough region. It's going to be murderers row all year long. What are your personal goals going into the season?
I wanted to step up and be a better leader. We talked about personal goals and team goals all throughout the summer with the team, and that's something that I picked out. Is my sophomore year, I kind of laid low and I just kind of did my thing, and I wasn't necessarily a big leader out in the field, and that's something that I want to work on this year. I want to be that one guy that they look to whenever, game's on the wire and they need somebody there, they look to me, That's what I want to do. Stats-wise, I don't worry too much about that. Right. You just got to go out there, you got to make plays, you got to do your job. And, even, doing your job, that doesn't automatically guarantee you a tackle, So that's why I don't worry too much about stats or any of that. Just go out there, do your job, and, be the leader, show yourself, show the school correctly,
Now, after your college football career is over, what are you wanting to go into? What field are you wanting to major in?
I'm currently planning on taking over my father's business whenever I graduate high school, so I want to get a marketing degree of some type and just pursue that.
Well, we appreciate you coming on to the show. We're looking for big things out of both linebackers from North Paulding this year. I look forward to seeing you on the field, and we'll watch you all year long.
Appreciate it.
And that's why they call me bad company. I can't deny.
Okay, welcome back to Inside Georgia High School Football. I'm here with outside linebacker for North Paulding, Tyler Bird. Tyler, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about your football career growing up, where you played at and where you played your middle school ball at.
So I started when I was 6 at Ackworth, and I played football at Ackworth from 6U till about 11U. Mm-hmm. Then I went from there and played at the North Paulding feeder program. 7th and 8th grade I played there, and then I moved up to the high school with the varsity freshman year.
Okay, so you're playing outside linebacker. I talked to Braylin also. Like I said to him, I see y'all at the line of scrimmage a lot. Mm-hmm. You're playing up at the line of scrimmage. Do you like better being at the line of scrimmage, kind of being that edge rusher, or do you like being in the true outside linebacker spot more?
Last year, I enjoyed I like both, but last year dropping was more fun because we play the spread concepts now. Teams like to throw the ball a lot more, so it was more action, more opportunities to make plays. But this year the team needs more of a rush. We're going to go so – this year I'm definitely working on the edge rush, which is also, it's fun. So
yeah, and one of the things I saw on film, once you hit the running back or the ball carrier, like all forward progress stops.
That's always the goal.
That's a great thing. Now, Coach Jones was talking about y'all working hard in the weight room this year and putting on some extra pounds. How many pounds did you put on between last year and this year?
27, almost 30 pounds.
That's a big gain.
Almost 30 pounds. I played last year under 180 pounds. So.
Right. So now you're up over 205, and you're 6'1".
Yes,
now you got some recruiting interest going on. Talk a little bit about the recruiting process, the schools that are looking at you.
The first thing I did was I took a visit to Vandy at the end of the school year, and then towards the end of the school year I started getting mail from a bunch of schools like Clemson and Mercer and North Carolina, Duke, schools like that. The Clemson coach actually came in and talked, took some visits to schools over the summer, did some camps, but mostly Vandy is who I've communicated with most.
Okay.
So.
Well, your GPA is a 3.95, so that definitely leans you toward a school like Vandy. Now, is that the one? Vandy is definitely your favorite right now? Yes, talk a little bit about what you want to do after football. When you're moving forward after football, what's going to be your career?
At one point I thought about going into like a medical field type because that stuff was interesting to me, but my heart's in football, so maybe going into like coaching or managing or something.
What are you going to major in? Do you know? Have you decided what you're going to major? So you got a little ways to go, though, right? So you got a couple more years before you got to worry about your major. What is your personal goal going into the season?
Personal goal? The personal goal is really, it's more about the team this year. Okay. Because when the team does well and we're going to the playoffs, it's just more fun, and then the other stuff falls into place behind it. So I think the biggest thing is helping the team find a way to win every game.
Right. Okay. So we talked a little bit to some of the players about their biggest game from last year. What was your favorite game from last season?
Our two close games were fun. The East Paulding game was fun. That was 16-13 back and forth the whole game. That was fun. Didn't go well at the end, but can't win them all. And then the North Cobb game was fun. It came down to a field goal hitting off the upright at the last second where we won. That game was crazy.
Yeah, I heard about that game as it was happening, so it was pretty impressive. Which one are you looking forward to most this year?
The East Paulding game. It's towards the front of the schedule. It's always a close game. It's a rivalry, so I feel like if we get that game, it can get some momentum going into the rest of the season.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best this season. We'll be watching you all season long. I appreciate you coming on to Inside Georgia High School Football. Good luck this year. That's number 44, Tyler Bird, outside linebacker for North Paulding High School.
Rebel souls deserted